Hey everybody, it's Adrian Chenault from Contact Mapping, and I wanted to share a story with you today that I think illustrates a point that we talk a lot about in Contact Mapping that is really important in my opinion in terms of the way that we carry ourselves in the world as leaders, as salespeople, just really as networkers of any kind. And so what we often say is that what you like the most about me is how much I remember about you. So think about that for a minute and think about some of the people in your life or that you have encountered in business or leaders and what it was that you loved about them and the way that they made you feel. And I have a feeling that part of what went into that is that that leader had a way of making you feel seen, heard, and remembered in a way that you really appreciated, and that's what set them apart. And so I was thinking about this the other day because I was actually telling a story and I hadn't connected that fact to this person in this story up until now. And I finally had this kind of realization that, wow, the reason, one of the biggest reasons that I admired this person so much and that I loved this person so much was a function of the way that he made me feel and the way that I witnessed him making others feel. And that person is a guy named Taylor Rhodes. And Taylor was someone who ultimately was the CEO of the company that I worked for many years called Rackspace. And now he's the CEO of a different company based in Chicago called SMS Assist. But Taylor climbed up the ranks at Rackspace through the time that I was there. And so he was in the US at the time when I first arrived. He ended up moving over to the UK office and starting up a new division there, which had a lot of success. And ultimately, he was the managing director for that UK office before returning to the US and ultimately becoming the CEO. And it was when I first was moving over to the UK with Rackspace that I really got to know him well. And the thing that he did that had such a big impact on me, which was that there was probably about 1,000 people in that office at that time. 1,000 rackers is what they call employees at Rackspace. And he literally knew every single person of those 1,000 rackers in that UK office by face, by name, and for a very large proportion of them, including for me, he not only knew them by face and name, but he knew something about them, at least one thing about them on a personal level. And he would walk the halls of the office and people would walk up to him and he would say, hey Janine, how you doing? How's the running been going? Hey Joe, how'd that thing work out the other day when you were talking about the system being down? And it was like he had this perfect recall of names, faces, and facts about people. And to this day, I still don't know if he is just a sort of freak of nature when it comes to that, or if he had a system behind that. But what I do know is that the impact that it had, not just on me, but on everyone around him, he was beloved in that office. And while he certainly had other skills, there were other people that had probably some of the same skills or many of the same skills that he had, but because of the way that he was able to make others feel around him, no matter how high up the food chain or how far down the food chain they were, that was the thing that made a huge difference. And so as leaders, as salespeople, as people climbing up the ranks and trying to figure out how to achieve greater things in your career, I would encourage you to think about the way that you make others feel. And I would provoke you that remembering more about people, creating deeper connections with people is something that can never not serve you and can give you an advantage that you can't believe because of the way that it causes people to respond to you, because of the way that it attracts or magnetizes people to want to work with you and want to help you get your job done because they know that you care about them first. And it has served every dimension of my career, and I'm so happy to get to have created Contact Mapping and to really be able to talk about these things because I think they're so important, and I think they're often not covered enough when we think about what makes a successful business person, what makes a successful salesperson. I think we talk a lot about tactics, we talk a lot about strategies, we talk about all these other things, but if you have this foundational level of care for other people and you can learn to remember things about people and you can use contact mapping as the means to be able to do that, even if that's not a natural skill for you, like maybe it was for Taylor, you can do this no matter what your level is in your career, no matter how naturally those things come to you, because we've created a system that makes it simple for you to speak those things into your phone, to take a picture with someone or of someone so you have their face there, so that each time you encounter someone, you're able to look back on those conversations and back on those interactions that you've had with them in the past and pick right back up where you left off. And the difference that that makes in the way that you make someone feel compared to just being even just average and remembering a few things here or there and just kind of being normal but not standing out in that way, you won't believe the difference it will make. So give that a try. And if this doesn't make sense to you and you're going, how could you even do that? Go to contactmapping.com and check that out, because we have a system that makes it easy for you to do this, even if you've never done anything like it before. And if you have questions, feel free to send me a message. I love talking to people about this stuff. It is truly the thing I am the most passionate about because I've seen what a difference it makes. So I hope that added value for you. If it did, please share it. Or tag someone that you think might want to check this out. But I hope you really enjoyed it, and thanks so much for listening. And thank you, Taylor, for being a big inspiration to me. You're somebody who I have admired in so many ways, and that I've tried to model myself after in so many ways. And so I hope you'll get to see this, and that you can see what a difference you've made for me and so many others. So thanks so much. Have a great one. Bye-bye.